overview of the services and the work of the Innovation and Support Team within the Office of Federal and State Accountability. The services and assistance will be provided to districts and to schools. I am Basil Harris, the team lead. The other members of the Innovation and Support Team are Lynn Hammond, who will also be co-presenting with me, Devetta Bradley, and Pat Sicantelli, who are also education associates, and Destiny Cheney, as she just introduced herself, she's the admin support for the team, and Mr. Eric Brunson, who's also the IT person who's supporting the team as well as other offices. The INS team, as we commonly refer to it, will work with districts and schools by assisting them in engaging in practices that move their federal and state program initiatives administered in our office from compliance to that of quality and ultimately to the level of engagement, and that is with the intent of positively impacting student achievement to the greatest extent allowable. Lynn, go ahead and move the slide, please. The rationale for the services of this team are given by the current programmatic requirements of ESSA. And under ESSA, state education agencies as well as local education agencies are responsible for ensuring that instructional activities, strategies, and/or interventions are evidence-based, albeit they are strong, moderate, promising, or whether or not they demonstrate a rationale. Now, I will also share with you some of the overarching responsibilities of the I&S team. We will assist schools and districts in implementing an evidence-based approach to support identified districts and schools, as I mentioned, who from a historical context are high poverty, low achieving, and/or rural, and that have challenges meeting the state's achievement standards. One of the other responsibilities of our office includes identifying and selecting the Title I distinguished schools. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the primary objective of our team, that is the Innovation and Support Team, is to assist schools and districts to move their programs and initiatives, whether they are state level programs and initiatives or the federal programs and initiatives that are administered through the Office of Federal and State Accountability, from compliance to that of quality and ultimately to that of engagement, again, with the intent to ensure the successes of the students. We will collaborate with district leaders and instructional personnel to determine the level of evidence for interventions that may have a positive impact or effect on student academic achievement. And we will start this with a comprehensive needs assessment, and we will also focus on data-driven identified priorities. We will also work with the schools and engage in schools and districts and engage in collaborative efforts to design school-based systems that focus on examining the effectiveness of interventions and instructional practices, especially across title programs and state accreditation requirements related to school renewal and strategic planning and the submission process. And Ms. Karen Cook, she also mentioned in her presentation, if any of you were participated in her presentation, the school renewal and strategic planning process. And so the Innovation and Support Team will collaborate with her office in assisting schools and districts in this initiative as well. And one of the other responsibilities of our team is that we will collaborate with the Office of School Transformation to support their work. Now the question is how? How will the Innovation and Support Team provide these services? We will provide these services, we will broker them, or we will facilitate professional learning opportunities, technical assistance, and or provide resources that include but are not limited to developing a district-wide comprehensive needs assessment that includes the identification of root causes. And again, I will continue to emphasize that is one of the major priorities and one of the major responsibilities of our team, and that is to assist in the development of a comprehensive needs assessment that includes the identification of root causes. We will also assist districts and schools in interpreting and effectively using data to inform sustained improvements. And again, I emphasize sustained. We will assist districts and schools in writing SMART C goals and objectives, setting short and long-range targets, linking actions with the goals and objectives that are established, and implementing evidence-based interventions with fidelity. Other hows of how the innovation and support team will assist districts and schools will be by assisting in formative and summative evaluation processes to monitor the fidelity of implementation of any and all initiatives focusing on student achievement, and they will include using qualitative and quantitative data analysis knowledge to inform and evaluate best practices, using learning standards to select professional learning opportunities that leads to effective teaching practices, supportive leadership, and improved student results. And one other how will be to assist districts and schools in identifying standards to evaluate the effectiveness of the professional learning opportunities. It is important to engage in, implement, and carry out professional learning opportunities, but it is even more important to evaluate the effectiveness to ensure that you receive the greatest return on that investment. We will also assist schools and districts in the use of resources such as What Works Clearinghouse to assist them in identifying evidence-based interventions that have proven to strengthen effective teaching, that have proven to strengthen academic leadership practices, that have proven to strengthen student achievement, and again, I emphasize that are aligned with the requirements of ESSA. We will also assist in the sustainability of successful initiatives that can be replicated across districts as well as other districts. If the initiative is working at its optimum and you're getting a very high return on the investment of implementing the initiatives, they should be worthwhile in replicating across districts. And also for those districts who are having success with the sustainability of those initiatives, we will encourage them and facilitate the process for them to share those practices with neighboring districts that have similar demographics and similar challenges. Some of our delivery models will include a web portal, and Ms. Lynn Hammond, she will share detailed information about the web portal. We are very excited that the innovation and support team is near the end stages of debuting its web portal, and it's a resource portal that will provide all of the districts throughout the state with some valuable information as it relates to the school improvement process, evidence-based practices that are aligned with that are also aligned with ESSA. We will also, again, as I mentioned, provide and broker technical assistance. We will work across districts. We will collaborate with other districts, as I mentioned. And again, we cannot do this work alone. A part of the process of providing these services will be to ensure that we collaborate with other offices within the agency who are the expert practitioners. And again, we will provide, broker, and facilitate professional development. We will continue to encourage conferences. We definitely, as it relates to the federal initiatives, your programs that are administered through our office, such as your Title I Part A, your Title II, your Part C, your Part D, and Title III. Encourage attending conferences, and we will again, also attend conferences ourselves. And our mantra is, we can't grow if we don't go. We can't grow if we don't know. So it is critically important that we attend conferences to stay on the cutting edge of whatever initiatives are out there to ensure that we can engage in practices that will move the needle, that will ultimately impact student achievement. As I mentioned a second ago, one of the first things that we started on as a newly formed team was a needs assessment. So we're working on the development of a comprehensive needs assessment. We're also working on a process to ensure that districts receive support in data analysis knowledge so that they can use this data to inform best practices to improve student achievement with fidelity. And the third thing that we're going to focus our efforts on is assisting districts and schools in identifying evidence-based interventions that meet the identified needs of said districts and schools. And now I'm going to turn it over to Lynn Hammond, who is just going to give you a snippet of our innovation station, which we also refer to as our web portal, and she will provide you with greater details about this initiative. Ms. Hammond?
Thank you, Basil. And we're excited to have you as our new team lead and look for great things coming forward from the Office of Innovation. The team, Innovation and Support team within the Office of Federal and State Accountability. Thank you for turning that over. And we're excited about the South Carolina Innovation Station. This has been a work in progress beginning slightly before, but all during COVID when we were away from our offices and working remote. So we have done a lot of research. And I'd like to welcome you to what we hope to launch as soon as it goes through the rest of the vetting process here in the agency. Welcome you to the South Carolina Innovation Station. The Office of Federal and State Accountability, an INS team, has developed this web portal to provide district and school staff with tools and resources to assist with moving, as Basil mentioned earlier, from compliance to quality to engagement. The evidence-based resources that are contained and will continue to be contained within the portal have been vetted by the Innovation and Support team within the Office of Federal and State Accountability and other SCDE divisions and offices. So Basil's really gone through. This is our About page. He's already given you a description of what a lot of what our team is about, and our mission is here at the bottom of this page. And then there's some bullets. I won't reiterate those. Those are there. So as soon as we launch, you'll be able to see those, but they will reiterate everything that Basil has shared with you previously. It's very important that we are working to improve, move from compliance to quality and to engagement, and giving the best that we can in schools for our children's success. So the South Carolina Innovation Station, you saw these 4 images on the first slide that we shared. We will have 3 areas of focus and then a resource library. So we will have the comprehensive improvement planning section. As Basil mentioned earlier, everything begins with a comprehensive needs assessment and planning to identify areas of need to make improvements. And so this will be an important section where we'll be able to share resources that can assist in that effort. Evidence-based interventions that will be looking at the levels of evidence as identified by the Every Student Succeeds Act, and also their new tiers of evidence, which now we have 4. And so you will find that information and links to those sites where you can search for those. And then teaching students in poverty, obviously with our federal title programs, we have a big focus with Title I and other title programs that assist students that are our most at need and risk in the state. So I don't like to use the term risk, but those that we need to assist a little more to build equity within our offerings for education for success for our children. And then we'll have a resource library that it is a searchable resource library where you will be able to look for a variety of different evidence-based practices or resources and links to different areas. And I'll share a little bit more about that. So let's look into one of the three sections. Let's look at comprehensive improvement planning. And so when you click on comprehensive improvement planning, you will go to this page will come up and you will see that we have a definition there. We also have some subsections. There will not be this many. We've already made some decisions about combining some of these areas to make it a little easier to navigate. But you will see that there will be subsections in each of the three focus areas. To go a little deeper, we're going to open the needs assessment and root cause analysis section. So then you will see that in each subsection, when you drop that down, there will be a list of resources with a brief description of that resource and a link directly to that resource that will take you there. In some cases, those resources will be in-house in the South Carolina Department of Education. In some cases, they will be at the U.S. Department of Education or at other state or national expert entities. We will continue to look at these resources and vet them. We have looked at everything. Nothing has will be going on this site that has not been vetted by our team. And we will continue to look at those to make sure they're up to date, or if there's anything new and cutting coming on EDGE. That is the innovation and support team. So we want to make sure we bring those innovative and cutting edge resources to you. Now let's look at the resource library. Well, let me go back for just a minute. So for each section, these same kinds of things will be there. There will be subtopics and drop downs. So for the teaching students in poverty, as well as the evidence-based interventions, you will find those resources just like this. So the resource library is the fourth, as Basil says, my bucket. It's the fourth area that does not have a focus, but we do have a lot of resources in this resource library. It is a searchable resource library, searchable by topic and by audience. The Office of Federal and State Accountability, INS team, will continue to seek out the resources to go in this section as well. We will vet everything. You can see the topic areas are related to andragogy, teaching adults, because a lot of us go through our pre-service and even a higher master's degree, et-cetera, and we're learning how to teach children or school-age youth, but we may not get a lot on teaching adults. And then when we find ourselves in positions of providing professional development to our teachers and others and working in that respect, we need to have a little extra help with that. And so educational organizations, so those would be support organizations related to content areas or just education in general. The link to federal and state programs provides you a direct links to the federal programs offices here in the Department of Education and in the Office of Federal and State Accountability. It also links to other areas within the South Carolina Department of Education, as well as to the U.S. Department of Education federal programs sites. Social emotional learning is a big one, and so we do have a full array of information there, as well as to the new site that the department has launched itself, which is kind of a one-stop shop for that. But we have added a few additional resources. Content learning takes you back to the Office of Standards and Learning, as well as Early Learning and Literacy. Educational technology over to our virtual learning office, and health and safety and virtual instruction. This section is the highlights and new additions section, and it will provide information and links to frequently requested resources and information or resources that we have recently added so that they are highlighted so that you'll know they're new. And eventually, we will add another little subsection here that will include information on current professional development offerings, such as the ESSA Academy, that would be time limited, so that you would need to know that the time that is coming up, like a conference or whether it's virtual or in person. We hope to be in person again someday. But it would be there, and so that it would be highlighted so you would get that information. So we hope this will be a place that you will check frequently. And then, if you haven't found what you need, we also have an assistance request form, a page. So you can go and ask for assistance. You can click on that, and we just ask that you fill out a little information for us so that we can vet your request. And either one of the team members from the innovation and support staff, or someone else within our office that may be more appropriate to assist you, or someone else in the agency, we will certainly look at that and get back with you directly and immediately, and make sure that if it's not something that we can assist you with, that we link you with the appropriate staff within this Department of Education that can assist you. We hope that the Innovation Station will be the go-to site to find innovative, evidence-based interventions and information that will assist you in moving and continuing to provide quality education, and moving even to greater heights as far as providing the best education for children. It's all about the children. What can we do for the children and to ensure their success? And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Basil for any questions.
And again, these are the members of our team, Devetta Bradley, Lynn Hammond, who just shared information about our resource portal, and Mr. Pat Cincantelli. And I want to go back and reemphasize one initiative that we have already begun to start working on and working with the monitoring and consolidated oversight team, and that is we're going to be assisting schools and districts who desire our assistance with their strategic planning and school renewal planning process. And we're going to assist them in conducting, again, as I mentioned earlier, comprehensive needs assessment, helping them to conduct root cause analysis, and also ensuring that they have a focus on the vision and mission of their school and district. And you will even get more information on Wednesday, because 2 other members of our team are going to do a presentation as well on the strategic planning process and the critical importance of a comprehensive needs assessment. So if you have any questions at this point, we will most certainly make every attempt to respond to them.
You can either put your question in the chat, or we can unmute you as well. Or rather, you can unmute yourself. I've just allowed you to unmute yourself if you have a question.
One of the questions that I see is, when will all of this be rolled out? As it relates to the web portal, we have had it vetted, the initial vetting by the senior administrative staff here in the agency, and it's going through another vetting process. And based on our timeline, and it is an anticipated timeline, we hope that the entire vetting process will be complete, because we are very near rolling out and ensuring that the portal goes live by next school year, hopefully in late summer, but definitely by next school year. To the services that our team will or are providing. We have already begun to start providing services. We have assisted a few schools as it relates to their school renewal planning and strategic plan process. And we've also assisted a couple of school districts with their Title I Part A and their Title II federal program plans, and assisting them where they had areas that where they were out of compliance during their monitoring visits, and they now are successful. So the work is already in progress.
Good afternoon. It's Karen. Could you elaborate a little bit on how this relates to Cognia? I saw that mentioned just a little bit earlier, the former advanced ed process.
Lynn, do you want to go ahead and respond to
Yeah.
that?
I'll take that one. So when some district, well, as you know, Karen, many districts are accredited by Cognia, which was advanced ed and level measure. I always say that one wrong. But it's our understanding, having met with the Office of School Transformation before COVID, right before COVID, in early 2020, that some of the districts were using Cognia services to also provide assistance with their needs assessment. So we don't really know how many are doing that, or if that's still continuing. We knew that Cognia was making a shift to, or advanced ed was making a move to that, but they may or may not be using that. It may or may not be a part of their contract with or agreement with Cognia, but it is a resource.
All right, thank you.
So if there are no more questions, we appreciate the opportunity to debut the services of the Innovation and Support Team. Again, our information is here for you should you have questions at the conclusion of this presentation, and we look forward to working with you.